This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. I'm very, very tired today. I flew in at about 6 a.m. back to the UK, so I'm very, very jet lagged after a 3 week trip in America. I'm joined over Zoom by BJ Flores. I saw you in Nashville last time I saw you. How you doing?
I'm good. Had a great weekend in Dallas. Watched a very good performance over 10 rounds by Jake, and I mean the whole card was very entertaining. The undercard was good, a lot of good fights, a lot of good activity. The crowd was into it. Nate brought out a lot of fans, and like they knew he would, and he did a great job and stayed in there all 10 rounds and overcame a lot of adversity. And you got to give him a lot of credit. It was a good performance by Nate.
Yeah, certainly. Both fighters I thought performed quite well. I guess Nate surprised a lot of people by being so tough. Did he surprise you though, BJ? Do you
He
think?
did, yeah, he did. I did not think he'd be able to get through that middle part of the fight once he realized some of his early tactics weren't working. But look, he stayed consistent. I got to give him full credit. He fought a hell of a fight. He stayed consistent even though he was losing rounds. He just stayed in it and stayed in it. And I mean, it's a different animal. 10 3 minute rounds is very different than five 5 minute rounds. So it's one of those situations where, you got to give Nate a lot of credit. He did a hell of a job.
I thought Jake could have stopped him in the first round because it looked very, very close to happening. Did you think Jake would get him out of there in the first? Or do you think
I
then
mean, it looked like he was going to, but at the same time, Jake didn't want to punch himself out. He shot a lot of good shots and he did a lot of good things, but he wasn't able to get him out. So he went back to the drawing board. He continued to try to box and be smart and be sharp. And, I think Jake did a good job. I mean, he might have been able to, in hindsight, he might have been able to get him out of there, but at the time he didn't know and he didn't want to punch himself out. So I think he did the right thing.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. With Jake, there's been a little bit of criticism online about the way he performed, and people were comparing his performance to Nate Diaz to the Tommy Fury performance and saying there's been a lack of improvement. I obviously think he's improved quite a lot since then, but I'm just going off what people said online. What do you make of those comments
Um,
online?
nobody understands how tough it is to go 10 rounds and to look good for 10 rounds. It's very difficult, and no other influencer boxer has gotten even close to doing that. So it's apples to oranges. Fighting 10 rounds, looking sharp for 10 rounds against a guy who's been in there with world level opposition in the cage. Nate Diaz, a guy who's got the intangibles. I mean, this is Jake's so far removed from influencer boxing. It's not even funny. He's fighting real guys over 10 round fights, and I think the criticism is unjust. I thought he did a great job. I thought he showed, a lot of good gas. He showed a lot of determination. Even when Nate, had his moments, Jake didn't let, Nate take control of the round. He would still come back, and Nate had some good moments in the end, but Jake always stayed in control, and that was obvious. So the criticism is just, fanboys who don't really understand boxing.
So just regarding Jake's performance there, do you think that that fight is a promising fight to go towards a Tommy Fury rematch, or do you think we need another one before the Tommy Fury fight?
I don't know if Nate's the kind of guy that gets you ready for Tommy, but it definitely got Jake his confidence. It got showed Jake he can go 10 rounds. Um, you know, very completely different styles. We're talking about apples to oranges. Nate doesn't have the style like Tommy at all, but still, it's a good confidence builder for Jake. First fight with his new team, he looked good. He did what he had to do. He was in control, and I feel like he's got a lot of momentum going into whoever he fights next, in whichever camp it is. It doesn't matter who he fights. He's got a lot of momentum right now, so it'll be interesting.
So you mentioned his new team there. It's kind of
Yeah,
confused me because I got told that Shane Mosley is new head coach, but I barely saw. I literally didn't even. I don't think I walked past Shane Mosley once in that fight whatsoever, and Shane was not doing Jake's corner. So what was going on
yeah.
there?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I'm not sure, and that's one of those situations where if I don't know the exact details, I'm not going to comment, and it's none of my business. So I'm not sure what they are. I have no idea.
That's fine. That's fine. I completely understand. I'd like to talk to his coaches though. What's his? Do you know what his coach's name is? The head coach,
Third, Theo, I believe is his real name.
Theo. Okay,
Yeah,
Theo. I'll find him. I'll find his
yeah.
Instagram and hit him up. For yourself though, what's your role in the Jake Paul camp now? I know you're still kind of semi-involved. Where are you based in it? Or
I'm not. I wasn't actually in the last camp at all. Jake is he's got some new guys working out there with him, and we spoke a couple times, and we'd talked doing a couple things together, and helping out with MVP and some other things like that. And he's real busy with his fight camp and his training, and it wasn't the right the right time to talk about it. So over the next few weeks, I mean, we'll see what happens, how things work out, and we'll kind of go from there. But my role is to support, to love, to encourage. That's my role in any situation I'm in. And right now with Jake, that's the reason why I was in Dallas. I just wanted to go out there and support. show love. I wanted to see the event. I wanted to see the crowd and everything, and I think it went fantastic. I mean, the event was very successful, and the event, people were very excited about it. There's a buzz everywhere you went about the fight, and there's a lot of big things coming from this. So super proud of the kid. He did a great job, and he's a hard worker, and there's nothing's changed.
That's true. That's true. 100%. The crowd is more, I guess, towards Nate Diaz, and
Yeah,
I think about 80% of it was for there for Nate, and the other 20 for Jake Paul. But can you tell me a bit about the conversation that went down between you and Jake? How you kind of stepping back because I know you're both on very good terms still.
yeah, that's it. I mean, that was pretty much it. There wasn't like a big conversation. It wasn't, and that's kind of a personal conversation we had, and not something I would really like to share. But it's no problem. We're on great terms, and everything's good. And I like I said, whether I'm involved moving forward or not, it's no problem. I'm a massive supporter of Jake. I'm a massive supporter of anybody chasing their dreams, following their dreams, doing stuff they're passionate about. Jake is converting millions of kids all over the world into boxing and fitness and following their passions, and it's just a great movement. So I couldn't be more proud. And now you got KSI and Tommy coming up. That's going to be a big fight as well. I mean, this is just really showing like people like regular people like Jake and JJ like 4 or 5 years ago. They're regular people. They're not doing boxing or anything, and now look where they're at. It's never too late, and it's exciting to see that.
It's good to know that you and Jake are still on good terms because I know many a time the boxers and their coaches have fallen out and then drifted and then kind of spoken badly. So it's nice to know you're on the same side still, which is quite cool. You mentioned, I guess, I think you mentioned earlier. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't quote you on it, but you said something that Nate Diaz isn't the perfect opponent for kind of Jake Paul to fight Tommy Fury straight after. Who would Jake Paul fight next to then get to Tommy?
I don't think there's anybody really like Tommy, to be honest with you, Fred. I think Tommy's a very unique, difficult style. He's a good boxer. He's very underrated. I feel like when he gets locked in and focused, and he brings all the team and all the pieces together, he's a very formidable opponent. Even though he hasn't fought anybody yet, he showed he can go out there and do some really good things. And I give Tommy full credit for that. So, and I've told Mams too. I said, look, man, this is a tough fight for JJ, and full credit to JJ for taking this fight. If it happens, hopefully this fight happens, and you got to give the kid a lot of credit because it's a very, very formidable opponent, and you got to give him credit for that.
Are you still sticking in your prediction that Tommy beats JJ by decision?
I mean, yeah, of course. I feel like Tommy's got. I mean, there's always the possibility that JJ can land a shot early in the fight, or even late in the fight. It's just tough to tell because I haven't seen JJ in rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, and I don't know how long in years. So it's a really tough ask to go from fighting some of the guys that he's fought, to go right into Tommy. It's a very big step up. So he believes in himself. You got to give him credit for that. And he believes he can beat him and he can land the shot. And God bless him if he can. That's a really, really big statement. So that's you got to applaud the kid for really believing in himself. And that's what makes it exciting because he does have power.
Do you want KSI to win, BJ, or you still got that thing of you want Tommy to beat KSI?
No, no, no. I don't really care either way. I want to see a good fight. I like Tommy. I like JJ. Believe it or not, whatever. Regardless of what's said online, I liked it. He's doing a hell of a job. He's created a lot of buzz. His team. He's got good people around him. They're putting him in good positions to make some noise. And you got to applaud him. He's a hard worker. He's doing his thing. And Tommy too. Tommy kind of went in there after everybody wrote him off and said he didn't want to fight Jake or didn't want to fight anybody else. And he went in there and showed he's got some tools and he's got a lot of ability. So I think they're both great young men, and if I met them face to face, we'd all get along great. So guys who work that hard, I can never say anything bad about. They're hardworking people and they're positive, optimistic people, and those are the kind of people I surround myself with.
Yeah, certainly. I've always found that when I've kind of seen people online and I think, oh, they must be a pain in the ass or they must be annoying. You meet them in person, one on one, and they're sweetheart. They're
Yeah,
lovely. They're really, really easy to get on with. So it's just funny, kind of the similarities and differences of it all. Do you think KSI punches harder than Tommy Fury? Has he got a bigger hit on him than Tommy?
I don't know. I mean, we're going to find out, I guess. It's tough to tell with the level of opposition that KSI has been fighting, like to see how hard he does punch, or if he's just boxing guys that are really unexperienced and don't really know how to get out of the way or take the shot. So we'll see. This, like I said, this is by far the biggest test of KSI's career. By far, he has, his last good test was Logan Paul 4 years ago, and I think everyone can agree Logan's a completely different person now and understands boxing a lot better now than he did then. But I still give full credit to JJ for getting that decision over Logan. pretty close one, some questionable points taken away. You know, that's neither here nor there. But anyways, I feel like this is a very, very big test. And if JJ doesn't land that shot and isn't able to have success landing that shot, it could be a very long night for him. So, you know, like I said, I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be eagerly with. I'll be sitting ringside for that fight, checking it out, seeing how it unfolds. And like I said, it's a very difficult test for JJ, but you got to give the kid credit because he believes in himself. So it makes me believe more that, you know, maybe he knows something I don't know. So I'll be watching.
So you're coming in person to Manchester. I'll see you
Oh
there.
yeah, 100%. Yes, I'll definitely be there. And I'm excited about the event. It's going to be a great event. You know, you got guys like, you know, Tommy Fury and KSI in the main event. It's going to be massive. You got Logan on the co-main event. One of my personal favorites. I'm a little biased. Logan's the man. He brings a massive crowd. He's just absolutely huge, and some really good guys on the undercard with Salt Poppy and some of these other guys coming back and looking to, you know, come back after a tough loss. Anthony Taylor's going to be there as well, and a few other names. And I'm really excited about this card. A lot of big prospects. I think Dean the Great's going to be on it. Waleed's going to be on it. So these guys are starting to make a name for themselves, and it's impressive to me to see them fighting back to back to back, and not just doing one fight a year and looking for another big exposure, like, or a big opportunity to gain exposure. They're really training and they're really doing it, Fred. So it's fun to watch them, you know, engage in it every 3 or 4 months.
Certainly, yeah. It's nothing like a big event. I mean, it will sell out Manchester Arena because that's the same arena that KSI fought Logan Paul in their first fight in. So it's
Right.
kind of like full circle in a way. Now they're both main eventing the card.
Jake and Deji too on that card. Jake and Deji.
Yeah, that's true. And Jake's gonna be there, isn't he? In
I,
attendance.
yeah, I think he said he was. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure if he said he would, he's going to be there. He'll be there.
I know you're in the small council, so tell me this. It does confuse me when it says double main event. I was doing the interview with Jake Paul in the locker room. Um, and it was a big confusion about if Logan was the main event, if KSI is the main event. So I'm correct me here, BJ, if I'm wrong, but KSI will be boxing last and Logan will be boxing for KSI, I guess.
I, I can't exactly give those details, but I would imagine if KSI is fighting Tommy Fury, I mean, in my mind, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to say for sure, but I would imagine that would be the main event. I think Logan's opponent is still undetermined, or that they're waiting to announce it. We've heard some different names, so we'll see what happens. But I can't comment on that right now. But I will say that it'll be two of the biggest influencers in the world, both fighting on the same card, and that means it's massive. So double main event, co-main event, whatever you want to call it, it's absolutely it's going to be huge. And you got two guys like Logan and JJ both on the same card, and then you follow that up with Salt Poppy and Deji and all these other guys. I mean, it just makes a big event. It doesn't matter who you're a fan of. You're a fan of somebody. You like one of them, and a lot of people like more than one of them. So it's going to be one of those events where I anticipate a lot of tickets being sold, a lot of excitement, and you see the Twitter Spaces and some of the other you know, Instagram and everything like that, and people are really excited about this event. So it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Does it do over 1 million pay-per-view buys?
I don't know. That's not really my department. I think it's going to do a lot, but it also depends on what
BJ,
the
say
price
I
point
think it
is.
does. I think it
The
does.
price
Yeah.
point, it depends on the price point. You know, is it going to be $59 like Jake's fight? I don't think so. I think it's going to be you know, less than that. And then the other thing is the piracy. I don't know how they're working with that and how they're doing that, but if there was no piracy and the price point is at the right spot, I think it does a lot of buys. I'm not sure how many, but it'll do a lot.
If there was no piracy in any of boxing pay-per-views, then
Man,
they'd have triple the amount of pay-per-view buys every single time. Crazy, isn't
the
it?
world would be a better place, wouldn't it, Fred?
Everyone, the fighters would be getting a lot more money, and I guess, yeah,
Yeah, they sure would.
it would be a better place. Blimey, if there was no
Yes, sir.
piracy. Wow, that would save the zone a massive, massive headache. But just to go back to the Jake fight, because I know we just want to touch on that since that is kind of the trending news. Does that performance by Jake Paul, does it give you a lot more confidence that Jake Paul could stop KSI when they finally fight, hopefully next year?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, look, I've always thought Jake could be KSI, and the reason isn't because um the reason is because I just haven't seen KSI do it yet. You know what I mean? So until I see him do it, I only go off what I see. I can't go off what I think or what he does against other people. I got to see him in with somebody who's kind of like who Jake's been in with, and then I can make the comparison. So until I see that, of course I'm siding with Jake. I mean, I've seen Jake in some wars, and I've seen him in a lot of situations, and vice versa. Like KSI's team is, of course, they're going to side with him. They're going to say, oh, he could beat Jake, no problem. Maybe they know something I don't know. I haven't seen it yet though, so I gotta, like I said, until I see it, I got Jake on that all day.
Mm. But I guess you got the good stat of Jake Paul made sure to keep the stat. He's dropped every single opponent he's faced.
Yeah,
He's proved to be a big puncher. He put down Nate Diaz, which was like quite a hard knockdown. It'd be interesting if anyone ever asked Nate about if he ever felt dazed. He'll probably say no, I was fine, but he did look a little bit dazed. It took a while to get up. So he's still
yeah.
very confident that Jake punches a lot harder than JJ.
I mean, I'm not like I said, I'm not confident if they both hit a heavy bag one punch at a time that he punches so much harder than JJ. I don't know about that. I just think the way he sets it up, he's got an educated left hand. He's got very good with his taunts and feints. He puts his guys out of position more so than I've seen JJ do so far. Like I've said, I've only seen JJ a round or two in his last like 4 fights, so I don't know. Maybe there's more to it that I haven't seen yet, but I feel like Jake has learned how to be a professional, moving his opponents defense out of position to be able to land his shots, and he's able to set it up in a manner that no other influencer boxers do, not even close.
That knockdown on Nate was very impressive. Kind of left hook catching Nate
He
off.
was hurt. He was hurt. He caught him with
Was,
that
yeah.
lead left hook. Nate was just coming in right hand a little down, and Jake placed the shot right around the guard. And another thing you saw Jake doing in the fight, Nate would have his hands out like this, and Jake would touch and bring the right hand like around the guard and into the side of the chin of Nate. I mean, you just see Jake doing little things in there that professionals do. He's placing his shots better. He's being accurate. He's not wasting. I thought he did a hell of a job, and he definitely had Nate almost out of there and hurt in the first round. He dropped him again in round 4 or 5. I'm not sure what round it was, and he hurt him again later in the fight. So he hurt Nate pretty much every time he hit him clean, and you just got to give Nate a lot of credit because the kid is very, very tough and very game, and he knows how to survive. And he even came back and had some moments that made the fight, entertaining. Even though he wasn't landing like clean, hard, effective shots for enough time, he made the fight very entertaining. So, like I said, I'm a big Nate Diaz fan. He did a hell of a job, and I hope Jake doesn't fight him in the cage, though. I hope he stays in the ring and keeps moving that way.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I guess that's Jake
Yeah,
Paul's. I believe that's Jake Paul's first left hook knockdown. He's got the right hook to the right hand, and now adds the left hook to that guard. Just one more thing before I let you go. Jake Boswick and Lorenzo Hunt. That's the name of
yes, sir.
watching. Are they going to be on Misfits? Apparently, be three. There might be three more Misfits events this year. I guess people are hoping. Those are the rumors I've heard on Twitter. Are they going to be on those cards?
Well, we're going to discuss more about that. But Lorenzo Hunt has a BKFC fight, world championship fight at 205 pounds. A very, very entertaining fight in Denver, Colorado against Chris Camozzi, September 22nd, defending his 205-pound world championship belt. And then after that, after he handles business, then we'll kind of go from there. And brutal Jake Bostwick, he's training, he's in the gym, he's getting ready. He knows we got some big opportunities coming up for him. A couple things we can't announce yet, but we're working hard to make sure he's in prime position to get a big fight and open some eyes this year. And he's looking forward to it. So he's working really hard. Lorenzo's working very hard. They're both down to business. And Lorenzo's actually going to be in Albuquerque this weekend for the Bryce Hall fight against G. Perez. He's been helping out Bryce a little bit, but he's going to be there for that fight. And then he's back at training camp, and we're locked in for September 22nd. So everyone's really excited about this fight with Chris Camozzi. I'm excited about it. I think Lorenzo's the most, probably the most underrated combat sports fighter in the world. People don't know who he is, but now they're starting to see this guy's got real legitimate one-punch punching power. He's in dog shape, and he'll fight anybody. So he's a throwback.
Certainly, yeah. Bare knuckle FC, something that I don't think that I'll ever get involved in. I report on it, but no, maybe not fight on that. Just one last thing for a let you go though, BJ.
Yeah,
I remember last time I asked you about your gun story, how you got the gun pulled on you. Well, odd that happened to me when I was in Texas, when I was in Dallas. I was walking to Chick-fil-A. It was like 7 a.m. in the morning. It's still really sunny
right.
for a nice area. And then this guy comes over to me and he starts going, "You scared of us? You scared of us? You scared of me?" I was like, "Okay." I was carrying on walking. You just ignore it, just carry on walking. And
Right.
then I keep, or maybe I said it, maybe I stared at him too much. I was worried he was going to do something, pull out a knife. I guess that's what they do in the UK, or a gun. And then I was about 30 meters away, but you see him pull out a gun like that and start pointing it. And I think, blimey, it's like real. And then I just carried on, I kind of speed walked away. And then I look behind again. He pretends to sprint, and then I sprint away. So it does happen, isn't it? It's crazy when it actually happens to you in real life and you understand them.
That's a little different than my situation,
Well, yeah,
Fred.
yeah. Your situation where they actually fired the gun. I'm
Yeah,
not
I was.
comparing, BJ, I'm not comparing them whatsoever. I'm just saying my experience.
Yeah. That's. I mean, it's. Hey, I guess it's frightening anytime, and you got to put yourself in situations where that doesn't happen. And I learned a big lesson on me getting a gun pulled on me. But I had the gun put to my head. I had it pointed, slapped into my head really hard, and I had massive bruising and swelling from how hard the gun was hitting my head. And the adrenaline of the situation was just so high. I was like, you know what? He's probably going to kill me for the watch. He's probably going to do it anyway. So I'm just going to take a chance. So I got my hand up like this, and I was like, okay. And he kept hitting me on the gun with the head, and I was able to pull the gun down, and the bullet went in my leg instead. So, hindsight's 2020. I wish I could have done a lot of things different. I couldn't, but yeah, it was a valuable lesson. I'm glad he didn't, empty the clip on you. I just, it's definitely, it's an adrenaline raising situation for sure. So I'm glad it all worked out and you're okay, buddy.
Wow. Now I sound like a massive pussy compared to your story. It's like your story's up here. I'm away at rock bottom down there. Blimey.
2 hours of surgery later, 2 months of rehab. I mean, it was tough. I couldn't get that hole to shut even after the stitches and the surgery. It was still open for a few weeks after that. So I had to keep going to doctors and keep getting them to pull it shut so it healed properly. And, God bless, thank God everything worked out and I'm okay. But it was a great experience for me. And I guess that's what I needed to get me in the right spot. So I don't regret it at all.
Personally, it's good. It's good you're with us, BJ. It's good you're with
Thanks, brother.
us. Anything else though? Before I let you go, coming up for yourself? Anything on the
No,
radar?
man. Looking forward to the Misfits card in October. A lot of big names, a lot of exciting people. Looking forward to have Logan on there and KSI and Tommy. It's a great fight. Looking forward to seeing that, and may the best man win. So looking forward to it, and a lot of good prospects are going to be on the card. So everyone tune in, check it out, and we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Appreciate it. BJ, I'll see
Yes,
you
sir.
soon. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.